Okay, so if you check your email, you'll find out that I have shared this document with you, and this is your next assignment, okay? And what you're gonna do is, because you do not have editing rights, all you can do is view, okay? So in order to make this your own document, you gotta go into File. Go ahead and everybody follow me, please. Please click on File once you open it, and then click on Make a Copy. Okay, file, and then make a copy. And when you do that, it's going to tell you to change the title, rename the document, right? So what are you going to do? Just go ahead and erase the Choi P part, right? And then you're just going to put your last name and your first initial, because the back part is going to be the same, Cats and Dogs 2. Because yesterday was Cats and Dogs, because you never say Cats and Dogs 1, right? When a movie comes out, you never say Superman 1, you say Superman, and then Superman 2, right? So there you go. Choi P, Cats and Dogs 2, for you is going to be your last name, and then first initial, Cats and Dogs 2. So click on OK. Once you do that, you got to make sure that this is in the correct folder. So please click on this folder right here. And then when you click on it, you should have a check mark right here where it says Drive, right? So please find Classroom. And when you find Classroom, make sure the check mark is not here. You got to click on this triangle. Okay, and when you do that, you'll be able to find my class, Choi Math 1 Period 6 or Period 2. Since I'm recording in 6th period right now, if you're in 2nd period, you're going to find your 2nd period folder. And then click on Move. Okay? All right, so now you have the document, you have your own copy, okay? And it's actually in the correct folder. So let's go ahead and take a look at this, okay? What we did today was I told my students to go into the textbook over here. And this time we went into page 7 of the textbook. And you do not have to go into the textbook because I already did all the work for you. And then I had them copy all this part over here into the textbook, which is this part. So you see this black over here? That is from the textbook. So let's read this, okay? As Carlos is considering the amount of money available for purchasing cat pens and dog runs, he realizes that his father's suggestion of boarding the same number of each, perhaps 12 cats and 12 dogs, is too big. Why? And we came out with this answer yesterday, right? So what I did was I highlighted this area, okay? And then, remember this one? We just wrote it like right now. All I did was I went in there and I copied and pasted. And I wrote, we cannot follow Dad's advice because we do not have $13.44 to buy the cat pens and the dog runs. We only have $1,280. Remember that? But for the space requirement, it was met because we only have 360 square feet of space, and the 12 dog runs and the 12 cat pens required exactly 360 square feet of space, right? And so now we have to look at other options, and this is exactly what you typed in with the previous document, okay? So what I did was I just copied the equation for the cost. It was $32 for the cats and $80 for the dog pens, right? And that had to be less than $1,280, right? When we plugged in and calculated, we found out that it costs more. So this is not gonna work, okay? So then now this is going to be part of the question where it tells us is $32 for the cat pen. That's how I got 32 times 12 cats. And then $80 for each dog, right? That's how I got $80 and times 12 dogs, right? All right. So then Carlos and Clarita don't have to spend all of their money on cat pens and dog runs unless it will help them maximize their profit. This part is again coming from the textbook. I told my 2nd period class to go ahead and highlight all this area and copy and paste. And then that came right here. And you guys are so lucky because I'm just sharing the whole document with you. And then I highlighted this important words as I was reading the textbook, shade all of the points, write an inequality, and then you have to go ahead and graph it, right? So this is what we did. The red obviously is our answer, right? So 32C plus 80D, because that's how much it costs. $32 for the cat pens and $80 for the dog runs, right? That had to be equal to or less than $1,280, because if it costs less than that amount, we're good, right? So remember, this is just like the chapter 1 question number 3, okay? So in order for you to graph this equation, what did you have to do first? You want to leave the D all by itself, so that meant you have to subtract 32C from both sides. And that left you with, because these two, this one and this one canceled out, you are left with ADD, and the symbol stays the same. And then I wrote negative 32C first, and then plus 1,280. And you all know if I want to leave the D by itself, what do we have to do to everything? Divide by 80. And that's what we did right here if you scroll down, okay? So then I divided everything by 80, and I got this equation right here. Once I got that equation, I went into Desmos, okay? And then I graphed it right there. And then Daddy said if you get 12 dogs and 12 cats, it will be okay, but it was more expensive than what we projected, right? And then I have a really smart kid in second period. His name's Anthony, and he told me, Miss Choi, if we have 14 cat pens and 10 dog runs, it will work. And you know what? He was right, because when I plotted it, it was actually inside the red area, okay? So then we went back, and I made them capture the graph and put it in there. Oh no, what am I looking at? Yeah, there you go. Okay, so I made them copy the graph, and this blue dot right here, that was Dad's advice, and that wasn't gonna work because that wasn't in the red zone. But the green one worked. Now if somebody said, hey, why don't you get 10 cats and 10 dogs and put a dot right here, is that gonna work? Yes, because it's in the red range, okay? So now, towards the end of class, I told them this is how you graph inequalities, okay? What you have to do is first change the standard form into slope and intercept form, just like question number 3 on the first test, okay? Then you have to graph the line. And then you have to shade the bottom if y is equal to or less than, and you gotta shade the top if y is equal to or greater than. As you can see on the graph, if you scroll up and see, the graph was actually shaded at the bottom part because it was equal to or less than 1,280, right? So then you have to make the line solid if there's a line under the inequality symbol, and if there is no line, then your graph is going to be dotted if you only have greater than or less than. And that is how you graph inequalities, okay? And what you're going to do right now, hold on. So what you're going to do right now is you're going to write a minimum 2-sentence summary and at least one left column question, okay? And you're going to submit it to Google Classroom. And if you go into Google Classroom, you would see cats and dogs too. Whoever already submitted it, make sure you unsubmit it because you put it in the wrong spot. The previous one is supposed to be cats and dogs beginnings, okay? So make sure you put it in there, all right? So the one that I just shared with you, write your left column questions and your summary, and you're going to submit it to cats and dogs too right now, okay? And after that, we're going to go into our paper version of our textbook, and we're going to actually start graphing inequalities, okay? And that's going to be the new part that second period didn't learn yet, okay? Ready? Go.